Welcome to the State of K-pop, a podcast where I talk about the state of K-pop, from comebacks to choreographies to toxic fandoms, all from the point of view of a K-pop stan. Did I say that correctly? Probably not, but I don't care.
Yeah.
Are you open mind?
What's your type, chocolate or vanilla?
Hello everyone. Do you like my shirt? I know you do. I know that's the first thing you saw. I'll link it below. It's great. It's gifted. I'm doing a series where I highlight K-pop fan-made shops because they make great merch. The problem with this that I am now realizing is that it'll focus on Hyunjin if I don't cover him, which it's not a problem, but it's my podcast and not his podcast, so it's kind of a problem. Also, glasses, fun fact, are reflective, and while these are really, really cute on me and I love how I look, I must take these off. So I'll do a thumbnail with those later if I remember. I was figuring out what the topic should be for this episode's podcast, and I was thinking about what is the state of K-pop like, right? Because that's what I talk about. And this is gonna sound so unfortunate, but to me it's true. I think right now the state of K-pop is pretty negative, honestly, in terms of like fandoms, at least. You feel how you feel about music, the actual music, which I don't know, I feel like because of the people that the K-pop industry is getting inspired from, I don't really like those artists, and I honestly think the artists that they're inspired from, one particular artist, I never liked his music, and I think his music is pretty uninspiring since the K-pop industry wants to sound like him. I've just kind of been disappointed and felt underwhelmed with the way K-pop is going right now. So pretty happy and exciting take. But today we're going to talk about the fans like we almost always do. Specifically sendoff. Because fans being bad and shitty and toxic fandoms and all that stuff, we've done episodes on that and we'll continue to do that, but it's like fans are so bad that they're bad in different categories and subgenres. Which is so funny to me. Like, how are you so shitty that I can break it up into different categories of how and when you are shitty? The when is send off. So I feel like, which once again, I am, okay, here's the thing, right? I've gone to the most concerts I've ever gone to in my life in 2024 and 2025. Mind you, 2025 is not over. But I did a YouTube video where I talked about my concert experience for K-pop concerts. I think I've been to, what's the title? I don't know. I could look, but I won't. A good amount. Over 10 K-pop concerts. A lot of them happening in the same year and like back to back. And I think also because like when I first started making K-pop content, I wasn't really in the community that much, so maybe I'm just seeing it more. But I also feel like it's correct to say that there has been an influx of just shite behavior, mate. Like shite. Like it's like a overflow of weird fans being weird, being disrespectful. It's gotten worse, in my opinion. It's gotten worse and it's gotten more. And I was sitting here thinking why. And I also think a part of it is because, like, for the fan calls, which actually the first episode of this podcast was about fan calls. I also did a whole YouTube video on that, which is great. So you should go watch it. Also, I'm recording right now. It's 1:27 a.m. Anyway, but yes, I made a podcast episode on fan calls and a YouTube video on fan calls, and I can make 105. Sorry, I'm crazy. 127 videos on fan calls, and it still wouldn't even scratch the surface of the insanity that ensues. But I think, like I said in my YouTube video about it, not the podcast episode, the YouTube video, I said that I think there are some stands that do it on purpose because they know they're going to get engagement, and they don't care if it is positive engagement, and they also don't care about the K-pop idols' feelings. And I think that there are some people that when they go in a send-off, they think of what is the most outrageous question they can ask because the video is going to blow up and it's going to get some sort of reaction out of the K-pop idols. I'm literally getting reminded of when Stray Kids went to the Met Gala and they got... I don't like calling it microaggression or macro. It's just racism. Let's not make the racism micro. Racism is racism. Let's not make it a small deal. If you don't know, Stray Kids went to the Met Gala and they were on the carpet and there were a bunch of paparazzi taking pictures, and one paparazzi was screaming racist things at them. Okay. And someone said that which not a justification, but this just backs up my point, how apparently some paparazzi will scream crazy things at you so you can look at them and get their attention. Which, for some people, any attention is good attention for them. So when they know they're going to be recording and talking to these K-pop idols, talking at them, what is more important to them is attention and engagement, and they don't know how to create something of substance and say something that is positive, so they go the other route and say something that is attention seeking and desperate in the negative way. So I think there's also a subsection of fans. I do think it's a smaller amount, but I think there is a subsection of fans that want engagement on social media and they don't care how they get it, and they also know that a positive experience isn't really going to get talked about. Unfortunately, it's extremes. It's an extreme negative, or I don't even think extreme positives gets highlighted in this world, but it's extreme negatives. So anyway, but I also think there are certain fans who aren't doing this on purpose. And I don't know if that's worse. Is it worse when you're doing something bad and you know what you're doing and you do it on purpose, or you do something bad and you don't know that it's bad? I don't know which one's worse. Anyway. Anyway. I don't know if I inserted the compilation of the K-pop idols at send-off. If I did, I did. If I didn't, it was just a compilation of K-pop idols at send-off being harassed, which you've seen. The ones that have blown up, the chocolate or vanilla, the Mingy thing, which for the longest time I saw the parodies of it, but I didn't see the original. And it's like I was transported to Tumblr 2014, and I'm gonna say Twilight. It was not out in 2014, but rewatching Twilight in 2014 and Vampire Diaries-esque One Direction Wattpad fan fiction, like the wording was literally like just the opening to like a bad CW show. So it's CW. I'm just kidding. Just kidding in case I ever work with CW in the future. I don't fucking know. But like in the sea of still in the sea of chaos I was his still or whatever, or the wolf found his prey before he can do it again. Oh my god, like it's so fun. Like and like if she was being satirical, she would be the funniest person in the world, but she wasn't. And apparently she's grown, which too, listen, everyone gets their, not even lashings from me. Everyone can be critiqued. And I sit here and I go, teenagers, right? It's also adults, which I've also said on my channel. And once again, I feel like that's worse. Because I believe that damn, do I say need? I don't focus on Hyunjin, I'm sorry. Hyunjin, I'm sorry. Can I put glasses on him? Wait! Okay, that might be the thumbnail. Anyway, but I believe when you're younger, like, you kind of, I don't want to say have to, but like, you go through that. I went through that. I'm coming to you as a big sis. I went through that. Fan fiction, One Direction, Harry Styles is the most beautiful man in the world, and if anyone says anything about him negative, I'm gonna freak out, and he's so perfect and there are no imperfections. And when him and Taylor Swift were on that yacht, I called my friend and we cried. Okay, I was a teenager. I was once 14, regrettably, unfortunately. If I could have skipped that age, I would have. But like, I do think that there is that you go through. That is an experience you go through, being a fan, a fanatic, right? Right? And you like get older. And I'm not saying you grow out of being a fan, right? I'm just saying when you get older, you're like, oh, these are men. I got older and I was like, oh, Harry Styles is just a man. And he's also a stranger. And I was being a little crazy, but that's okay. That's fine. You know? But I'm 24 now. I almost said 25. Not there yet, bitch. But I'm 24 now, and I can look at Harry Styles and be like, oh, that's just a man. That's just a guy. That's just a stranger. Actually, and y'all will go through my fucking who I follow. But I followed like 2 fan pages of Harry Styles, and I unfollowed I think I unfollowed all fan pages that I follow. I think I follow a Geo fan page, which is because she's pretty. She's just pretty. But I don't stand twice. Anyway, but like, I'm pretty sure I unfollowed a Changbin fan page too. But I unfollowed a Harry Styles fan page because they posted like Harry Styles going into his car with his girlfriend. And I was like, why do I know where this stranger is every second of the day? That's weird. I saw that with Stray Kids too. Like, I also unfollowed a Stray Kids fan page because I was like, this is like, and okay, once again, nuanced conversation. Honestly, at this point, K-pop stans, y'all hear what y'all gonna hear. So if you think this is an attack on you, it's not. But if you take it personally, y'all are the ones making the shoe fit. I don't know what to say. I felt weird getting updates on where Stray Kids was every second of the day. Why am I in New York City and know that they just touched down in an airport in Brazil or something? That felt weird to me. And I was like, the fan page also like reposted, like, which is what a fan page does, right? And once again, if you follow a fan page and you're happy and you're comfortable, that's great. I'm talking about my experience and why I felt uncomfortable. I felt uncomfortable because it was also like Harry Styles at a soccer game, and like, I have a whole separate video I want to do just talking about fame in general because it's insane. But he was at a soccer game just trying to enjoy the fucking soccer game. And yes, he's Harry Styles. People are going to call up to him and ask him for pictures. That wasn't my problem. My problem was people were just recording him and taking pictures of him. That's weird. Because then what do you do with it? You go, Harry Styles. That's fucking weird. It's so weird. You're surveilled every point, every second of the day. You have no privacy whatsoever. Anyway. Any fucking way. I say all that to say I've been there. So when I am talking to you guys, I'm talking to you as a big sis. And it comes from a place of understanding. right? Some of you bitches are just weird. Some of you bitches are just weird, right? But anyway, I do think that some people need to go through that. But then you grow up, right? That's what I'm going to say. If I unfollow the fan page, blah, blah, whatever. These are just men. I don't put them on a pedestal anymore, XYZ. But then there are grown people who grow more into the delusion. That might be worse, I think. That might be worse, genuinely. Why? You're 35, diva. Why are you acting like... Oh my God. Anyway. Any fucking way. And I also say that because who has disposable income to spend an extra $300 to spend $1,000 to drop $1K on a concert? Adults. Because what 14-year-old is going to send off if they can't bring their parent with them for real? Like, these are adults that are acting like this. Okay? So if you are a teenager and you felt called out on my channel before, I'm not talking about you today. These are grown adults that are being like, San, chocolate or vanilla. Can you be my Lucifer? And whatever other shit, right? So, finally getting to it. After 16 minutes. I have my notes. Y'all know the deal. Also, San is in the back of my phone case, by the way, if you want to know. But, right. So, I don't think a majority of fans are like the extremes at Sendoff, who are asking these idols sexual questions, prying too deep, not respecting boundaries, grabbing them, just making them uncomfortable, being racist to their face. How do y'all have the balls to be like... And here's the thing too, I'm like, did she even know that going up to a Korean man who's a stranger, first of all, asking him a question that is sexual and you don't know him, and then second of all, mocking a Korean accent or a Korean person who speaks English, mocking that to a Korean person? You didn't even think maybe don't do that? Like, do y'all think for real? Like, I'm genuinely like, yes, judgment, and some of you bitches are weird, but also I'm sitting down and I'm like trying to be in their shoes. Like, you didn't think of that? Like, what did you think he'd be like? Haha, yes. And also too, yes, some of these all of these K-pop idols are online and they see shit, right? There's some shit that they can't like joke about. I don't think a topic of are you open-minded, a topic talking about Korean men trying to have sex with foreigners, and that's the line that the Hongdae guys use. I don't think that is a joke that they could make or a topic they could talk about too. Like, this is what I'm saying. Do y'all not sit and think about this? It's really crazy. Y'all paid $1,000 overall. Y'all paid so much fucking money. Y'all paid rent in this bitch. And y'all not sitting thinking about the consequences or just what you're saying? Hello? Like, what the fuck? Anyway. And I didn't want to focus too much on like the specific people, but like, girl. What? Anyway. Yes, I don't think a majority of fans are like this, but I do think a majority of fans are still not really seeing them as humans and more as products. So you're talking at them and not to them. And honestly, this video is, to the people that are harassing them and weird, I will be shitting on you because you're weird. But just in general, this, once again, all my videos, literally 99% of my videos are critiquing the industry and not the person, right? And not the idol. This is more of just a critique on Sendoff in general, because I think from its inception, Sendoff is a shit show. The way it's executed is just a shit show. And we'll talk about it now, but I don't fully fault most K-pop fans for seeing idols this way, because that is all how they're marketed as. K-pop idols are not marketed as humans. They're marketed as idols. You already are, you're objectifying them. I also think people don't understand or realize that just because something might seem more positive, it's still objectification. I think there are some, specifically, I was thinking about this too, because I do be thinking, how some women get really, straight women get really, just kidding. It's not funny. It is. How some straight women get really happy when they're getting like male attention, and it's like, well, the male attention is them objectifying you. That's not really a positive thing. So like idol is like, oh, they're being worshipped and stuff, but there is a negative side to that. You shouldn't worship any human person, but they're not getting treated as humans and not being marketed as humans. They're being marketed. You know what you market? A product. You market a product. And K-pop idols are being treated and marketed as such, a product. They're being objectified as a product, not as a human. And also, too, where other things, and obviously this is not the case for everything, but we know that the K-pop industry is pretty extreme when it comes to comparing to the Western music industry, whatever other music industries. But in terms of marketing, and once again, other industries do this, other people do this or whatever, but you are now your job. You're not expected to have a life outside of your job if you're a K-pop idol, because this is your life. When you go to work, when you go to work, you're not expected to have that take over your life. Like if you work at, I don't know, if you work as a bank teller, I don't fucking know. Or actually, no. I think this is a better example. Kind of. Yes, whatever. Let's say you work at Disney or Universal or one of those places where you like have to dress up and be a character for real, right? You're not expected to act like that character 24/7, and you can't have a life, and you can't go out, and you can't have a relationship, and you can't drink, and you can't drive, and you can't do any of these things. Like, you're trapped in your job. Your job is now your life. That is what it is expected of these K-pop idols. And that's just from the inception. That is what is being subconsciously given to you as a stand. So when a majority, in my opinion, of these K-pop fans are talking to them as products and not humans, and talking at them and being like, I am saying this, and now you are going to act how I want you to act because this is a business, in exchange for goods and services. I am telling you to do something, and now I expect you to do it subconsciously. Whether you are trying to manipulate them or not, which I really don't think most are, but like, you will talk at them or do something and like expect them to do it back. Like, you shouldn't expect anyone to do anything just because you want them to do something. Even something as small as like waving to a K-pop idol or doing a heart or whatever. Side note, I don't like doing this. I don't know why. I just don't like doing it. Anyway, but like whatever. Or can you say this? Or can you say that? Like, you expect them to do it. Like, a lot of y'all don't even think about the possibility that they might not, and they might not want to. And then if they don't, you get shocked and you get mad. Because you see them as a product, as existing for you, because that is how the K-pop industry has shoved them in your face. So then when they break that illusion, i.e. be a fucking human, it upsets you or you're shocked. You don't even have that point of view. You're not thinking about them because you're not thinking about that because you don't see them as a human. Once again, like it's their whole life. Being a K-pop idol is their whole life. I'm thinking of Bubble. Like it's Bubble is so parasocial. Okay, that could be a whole other video. But anyway, yes, yelling at them, shoving stuff in their faces to sign. It's hard to imagine that it is not overwhelming and intense for these K-pop idols. And they do it a lot, but just because you do something a lot doesn't mean you get used to it, or doesn't mean that it cannot be overwhelming, and it also doesn't mean that it's good. So, once again, I wouldn't say the fans are completely at fault. I feel like the fans have been groomed by the K-pop industry to see these idols a certain way. That's what the industry wants, right? They want you to buy into this. Literally, give me your fucking money, right? So I wanted to break down how send-off goes. First of all, already at inception, companies charging insane amounts for send-off. For everything in general, but for send-off. Insane. Comment below if you've gotten send-off before, but like $1,000. Because you get like, it's tiers, right? I'm pretty sure it's tiers. And it's like you just get a ticket, or you get a ticket and like a VIP experience. Mind you, VIP experience is just access to merch earlier. Or maybe you get a free photo, or free, paid fucking $500. But you get a photo card, or you get sound check. And then like the top thing is you get sound check, you get the VIP experience, and then you get send off. At least a minimum of like $800. At least a minimum of $800. At least. That's just what it is. So you're paying around $1,000, upwards of $1,000, right? And then you look at the videos from Send Off and you see y'all are packed in there like sardines. We cannot get out. We cannot escape. Like, packed in there like some motherfucking sardines, bro. So companies are overcharging you, and then they're overbooking the amount of people that can do send off. It is so many people. A bunch of fans piled up into rows. And my friend, hey, don't think she watches my channel. That's completely fine. She did send off twice. And the first time she did it, she said it was okay. She said it was okay, but she kind of got passed by some idols. And she was in like the second row. The next time she did it, she was in the last row and she got no one and nothing. No one saw her. And I don't like when people are, once again, right, expecting things from these K-pop idols. Period, next sentence. K-pop companies, if you told me that this is a business in exchange for money, my money, 1K, I am receiving a good / or service, because that is how a fucking business works, and then I pay the money and you don't give me the good / service that you said you would, that is a scam. That is a scam. I bought a photo card for like $1.50 and I still have not received it. That is a scam. I'm getting a refund. I don't care if it's $1.50 or I don't care if it's $1,500. If you are paying for a good or service and you do not receive the thing you paid for, it's a scam. No way do some of these bitches pay $1,000 fucking dollars to pay $1,000 to beg to get someone's attention? I paid $1,000 to hopefully get your attention? Bitch, are you crazy? Fans packed up like sardines in rows. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the people in the back already just not happening, not getting it. And then you have only around like 5 seconds before idols pass you. And they're trying to get to everyone, right? Because there's so many people at sendoff, and they have 80 different things shoved in their face, and they're trying to sign everything, and they're tired because they just did a fucking 3-hour concert. And then you also have to be out the venue at a certain time. It's just a shit show. It's just a shit show. From its inception, it's a shit show. And also in general, this is no shade. Once again, I'm just speaking on my experience and how I feel. Paying to get someone's attention is already dystopian as fuck. Can we sit here and think about that for a second? Paying, and coming from someone who's done meet and greets before, who's gone to meet and greets before and stuff like that. Well, actually, no, meet and greets I understand. Send off specifically is crazy. It's really crazy. Because at least the meet and greet I'm fucking guaranteed. But like, send off is insane. Anyway, someone brought this up. So smart. Send off should be on a different day or the day before the concert, so you don't have to rush. Because once again, you have the concert and then you're immediately going in, and then you have to rush through all the people so you can fucking get on the plane and get there. It should be at least a day before. It gives them more time. The idols are refreshed and not as tired. And also the fans look and feel good, for real. Like, you know how you feel after a concert? Whoa. You know how you feel after a concert? You just want to go home and crash? Like, I don't want to do a fucking send-off. I cried my makeup off. I'm sticky. I feel nasty. I don't want to go have these idols perceive me. I'm sweaty and I'm tired and my makeup's bad. Like, could we have done send-off before the concert when my makeup looked great and we were in picture mode for real? Like, damn. Anyway. Yes, and just in general, stop overbooking send-off. Let less people in. And maybe there'll be less of a chance of bad interactions because of the fact that maybe there are less people. But regardless, people need to get what they paid for. For me, and I touched on this earlier, and I was talking to my friend about this who had send-off and how they felt icky after. Because it's like, for a concert, the product is the concert. That is, you're paying for, that is what you're receiving. The job of the artist, them being a performer, singer, dancer, rapper, etc., that is their job, and it can be separated from them, right? They're clocking in. And when they clock in, they happen to be on a stage and they're singing and they're hip thrusting, right? With send-off, the idols are the product, and that feels icky to me. I said this already. Famous people do meet and greets all the time. I've done meet and greets all the time with wrestlers, but like with the wrestler and not the actual person. People know that there's Rhea Ripley and then there's the insert real name here. These are two different people. Given wrestling fans are also fucking weird as fuck. But like, WWE is not trying to make me think that, I mean, especially with their new series where they literally just pulled back the curtain completely. Kayfabe is dead. This is not a wrestling podcast. I'm not explaining that to you. But kayfabe is fucking dead. WWE is not, they used to, but WWE is not trying to make me think that the real person behind Rhea Ripley has shed that, and now she is actually Rhea Ripley, and she goes outside and like beats people up and wrestles them, and her storyline is her real life. No, that's not fucking true. She's married in real life. We don't know her, XYZ, all that stuff. But the K-pop industry is not doing that. They are trying to market and make you think that the K-pop idol exists for you. And when you take up a job as a K-pop idol, you're expected to give up your human life. You're watching the Blackpink documentary from 2019 blew my mind. They're not allowed to drive. That sound okay. Anyway, I don't know if it's changed now, but not allowed to drive. Idols aren't allowed to drink. No relationships. Can't even talk to someone of the opposite gender, even if it's a coworker that you've known and trained with for 10 years. I can't talk to my friend of 10 years, my friend and coworker of fucking 10 years, because I'm a guy and she's a girl. Crazy. And if you do anything else besides your job, do something you want to do, God forbid, right? Because it's your life, but you don't have a life anymore because you're a K-pop idol. Like if you get a tattoo, fanatics will find the tattoo artist and hack into the CCTV and tell the tattoo artist to go kill herself. You have no privacy. When you're famous, you just don't have privacy in general, and people don't expect you to, they expect you to not have it. I will never forget when Billie Eilish opened up about her stalker and somebody was like, well, you're famous, so she deserves a stalker? You gotta be fucking mine. Anyway, when you're a K-pop idol, you give up your autonomy and your privacy in exchange for being a K-pop idol, which once again is true for a famous person, but when you're a K-pop idol, everything is heightened, for real. It's really crazy. All to say, from inception, both sendoff and the way K-pop stands are groomed to be in terms of seeing K-pop idols as a product, sendoff is a doomed experience from the jump. And I feel like if they just tweak it, change it, day before, less people, less money. And I don't know if they're ever going to do this. I don't know if the K-pop industry is ever going to start to treat and market K-pop idols as just this is their job, and then when they're clocked out they're a human and you don't know them, which I mean you do know them when you're a K-pop idol, but you know what I mean, like this is their job, and like cutting the parasocial relationships. And I don't know if K-pop would be as successful if they started to veer away from parasocial relationships. Like I don't know if they're ever gonna fucking do that, but at least for send-off, if you're not gonna change it, just get rid of it and get rid of fan calls too. I did a TikTok about it. The Subin fan call, I think that was probably one of the worst, if not the worst fan call experience ever. Ever. I know it's like, Vernon, you're under arrest for being sexy. Put your hands in there. That was literally, which also that was harassment, but the Subin one is sexual harassment. These K-pop companies, no amount of money is worth your idol, your staff getting harassed. Period. End of sentence. And it's like, it's just, why is it 100% guaranteed that every time a K-pop idol does send off, they're gonna get sexually harassed? It's just a guarantee every single time. So if you're not gonna change it, just get rid of it. You can find another way to make money. I'm sure you'll find another way to make money. Just either change it to make the K-pop idol feel safer, or just don't do it. Like someone in the comments I asked you guys to talk about your experiences on send-off. Someone said one fan was grabbing the K-pop idol and wouldn't let go. And it took the K-pop idol telling her to let go 3 times and a bodyguard coming over and separating them for her to let go. The Enhypen concert, apparently people were leaving early so they could make sure they had a spot for send-off. And Enhypen was on stage, correct me if I'm wrong, but she said Enhypen was on stage being like, guys, why are you leaving early? I shouldn't have to leave early from something I paid for to try and get a spot for something I paid for. This should be a fucking guarantee. It's just a mess. It's a mess. Harassing these idols, talking about chocolate or vanilla. Bro, we are in hell. Imagine how the K-pop idols feel watching this. Imagine how tired we are, Indigo. Damn. Anyway, fuck. Well, I'm gonna go now. Me and Hyunjin are gonna go. Damn, bitch. Y'all be going through it, huh? Y'all be going through it. Damn. Anyway, that was the video. Like and subscribe, or don't. I don't know. I'm gonna tell you to do. Bye.